The desolate crossing Captain Marcus Reed adjusted his ship's thrusters as the steadfast hope descended through the toxic atmosphere of Xerion Prime. The human exploration vessel groaned under the strain of atmospheric pressure, its hull scarred from countless journeys through hostile space. Marcus had been charting dead worlds for the Terran Colonial Authority for 15 years, but this planet felt different somehow. Atmospheric readings are off the charts for radiation, Captain, reported Lieutenant Zara Okafor from her station. Surface temperature is fluctuating wildly. Whatever happened here, it wasn't natural. Marcus nodded grimly. The planet's surface stretched endlessly below them, a wasteland of cracked earth and twisted metal structures. Once, this had been a thriving world according to their deep space scanners. Now it looked like something had drained the very life from it. Set us down near those ruins, Marcus ordered. Full environmental suits. We'll do a quick survey and get out. As they landed, the ship's sensors detected something unexpected. A faint energy signature approximately 2 kilometers northeast. It was weak but persistent, like a dying heartbeat. Marcus made the decision that would change everything. Zara, you're with me. Collins, monitor the ship. The two humans trekked across the broken landscape, their boots crunching on crystallized soil. The air shimmered with heat distortion, and the sky above roiled with unnatural static clouds. Marcus had seen many dead worlds, but none that felt so haunted. They found her collapsed against a fallen obelisk, nearly invisible beneath tattered robes that had once been magnificent. Her silver-blue skin was dull, almost gray, and intricate runic patterns along her arms flickered weakly like dying embers. Around her neck hung a crystal pendant, cracked and barely pulsing with inner light. "My God," Zara whispered. "She's still alive." The alien woman's eyes opened slowly, brilliant violet irises that seemed to hold the weight of centuries. Her lips moved, forming words in a language that sounded like wind chimes and distant thunder. Marcus didn't hesitate. He unscrewed his emergency water ration, the last clean water he had for the return journey, and pressed it to her lips. "Here, drink." She accepted the water with trembling hands, her touch surprisingly warm against his gloved fingers. As the liquid touched her lips, the runes on her arms began to glow brighter. The crystal pendant at her throat pulsed with renewed energy. The alien woman whispered something in her ancient tongue, and Marcus felt the words resonate in his chest like a prayer. The dying world around them seemed to hold its breath, waiting for something momentous to happen. "What is she?" Zara asked, her voice filled with wonder and fear. Marcus didn't know, but he sensed that everything was about to change, not just for them, but for humanity's understanding of the universe itself. The awakening transformation began with a sound like crystalline bells, resonating through the wasteland. The alien woman's runes blazed with silver fire, and the cracked pendant at her throat lifted from her chest, floating in midair as it sang with harmonic frequencies that made Marcus's bones ache with recognition. "Step back," Zara shouted, but Marcus found himself rooted in place, mesmerized by the swirling energies emanating from the being before him. The woman rose gracefully, her movements fluid despite her obvious weakness moments before. Her silver-blue skin now gleamed with inner radiance, and her violet eyes held depths that seemed to contain entire galaxies. When she spoke, her voice carried the weight of ancient authority. "Vashti Nelortherm," she intoned, and somehow Marcus understood. The gift demands balance. Around them, the dead world began to respond. Hairline cracks in the crystallized earth widened, revealing veins of pure light beneath. The toxic atmosphere shimmered and cleared in expanding circles, revealing a sky of impossible beauty, twin moons dancing in aurora-painted darkness. "Incredible," Zara breathed. "The atmospheric composition is changing, oxygen levels rising, toxins neutralizing. It's like she's terraforming the entire planet." The alien woman, no, Marcus realized. Not just alien, but something far more ancient and powerful, extended her hand toward him. Her palm glowed with the same silver fire that coursed through her runes. "You gave life when death was certain," she said, her accent lilting like music. "Your species does this, gives freely without thought of return. I am Silare, last of the Veil Weavers, and I would offer balance to your gift." Marcus felt Zara's hand grip his arm in warning, but something deeper than caution urged him forward. This wasn't just first contact, this was a moment that would ripple through history. "I don't understand," he said. "What are Veil Weavers?" Silare's expression grew sad. "We were gardeners of reality, tenders of the cosmic fabric. My people fell to the Devourers eons ago. I remained to guard this nexus point, but the vigil, it consumed me. I was dying when you found me." She pressed her palm against Marcus's chest. directly over his heart. Energy flowed between them, not painful, but overwhelming, like suddenly being connected to the universe's vast neural network. Images flooded his mind, star systems being born, civilizations rising and falling, cosmic patterns that humanity had never imagined. I see, Marcus gasped. I see everything, not everything. Silare corrected gently. But enough. Your water contains something precious, hope, freely given. Now you carry something equally precious in return. The energy settled into Marcus's chest like a second heartbeat, warm and constant. Round them, the planet continued its impossible transformation. Dead soil sprouted with luminescent flora, and the air filled with the scent of new growth. What happens now? Sarah asked, her scientific instruments going wild as they tried to process the reality-altering events unfolding around them. Sylara smiled, and in that expression Marcus saw both infinite sadness and boundless possibility. The gift's true nature. 3 days after returning to the Terran Colonial Authority Station, Marcus Reed stood before the Council of Admirals, trying to explain the impossible. His report had been filed as xenological anomaly, priority classification, but the sterile words couldn't capture what had truly happened on Zirian Prime. Let me understand this correctly, Captain. Admiral Harrison Voss leaned forward, his weathered face skeptical. You're claiming that one alien woman terraformed an entire planet in minutes? Not terraformed, sir. Restored. The planet was alive before something killed it. She simply reversed the damage. Lieutenant Okafor nodded emphatically. Our atmospheric readings confirm it. The planet now supports human life without any technological assistance. The transformation was instantaneous and complete. Admiral Voss exchanged glances with the other council members. And this gift she gave you? Marcus touched his chest unconsciously. The warmth there had grown stronger each day, accompanied by strange new awareness. He could sense the emotional states of everyone in the room, feel the electromagnetic fields of their neural implants, even detect the quantum fluctuations in the station's power grid. I'm not sure yet, sir, but I think she gave me something that was meant for humanity as a whole. That evening, alone in his quarters, Marcus discovered the truth. As he sat in meditation, a practice he'd never tried before, but now felt compelled to do. His consciousness expanded beyond his physical form. He could perceive the station's entire structure, the people within it, even the approaching supply convoy still hours away. But more than that, he could see the connections between things, threads of cause and effect, probability streams, the underlying patterns that governed reality. It was overwhelming and beautiful and terrifying all at once. His door chimed, and Zara entered without waiting for permission. Marcus, we need to talk. The quantum physicists want to study you. The xenobiologists want to dissect you. And the military wants to weaponize whatever you've become. I know, Marcus said, his voice carrying new harmonics that made the air shimmer slightly. I can feel their intentions, all of them. Sarah sat beside him, her expression concerned. What did she really give you? Marcus closed his eyes, accessing memories that weren't entirely his own. Understanding. The Veil Weavers were cosmic engineers, working on scales we can barely imagine. They could perceive and manipulate the fundamental forces that hold reality together. Silare gave me the ability to see what they saw, to touch what they touched. That's incredible, Sarah whispered. It's also dangerous, in the wrong hands. This knowledge could unravel civilizations. That's what happened to the Veil Weavers. They became too powerful, attracted the attention of something that feeds on cosmic energy. The Devourers. A chill ran through the room at the mention of that name. Marcus opened his eyes, and Zara gasped. For just a moment, his irises had held the same galactic depth as Silare's. She didn't just give you her power, Sarah realized. She made you into one of them. Marcus nodded grimly. The last Veil Weaver just passed her burden to humanity. The question is, are we ready for it? Outside his window, the stars seemed brighter than before, and Marcus could sense something vast and hungry moving between them. Drawn by the awakening of ancient power, the Devourer's approach warning came through channels that didn't officially exist. Deep space monitoring stations detected gravitational anomalies moving toward human space, ripples in spacetime that suggested something massive approaching at impossible speeds. Within hours, every human ship, station, and colony received the same priority transmission from Captain Marcus Reed. This is an emergency broadcast to all Terran Colonial Authority vessels and installations. We are facing an imminent threat unlike anything in human history. 3 days ago, I made contact with the last member of an ancient species called the Veil Weavers. The power she gave me comes with a terrible responsibility and a terrible enemy. Aboard the dreadnought Titan's Fury, Commander Victoria Nash watched the transmission with growing unease. She'd served alongside Marcus during the Proxima Wars, knew him to be level-headed and pragmatic. If he was issuing warnings about cosmic threats, she believed him. "Commander," her sensor operator reported, "we're detecting massive energy signatures at the edge of the Kepler system. Whatever's coming, it's big." The first contact came at Mining Station Omega-7. The station's automated distress beacon transmitted for exactly 43 seconds before cutting to static. When the nearest patrol ship arrived, they found empty space, not destroyed metal and debris, but absolute void where a station containing 3,000 souls had existed. Marcus felt each death like a physical blow. The Veil Weaver abilities allowed him to perceive the cosmic web of life, and when that web was torn, he experienced the agony directly. He stood on the bridge of his modified exploration vessel, now equipped with experimental weapons based on his new understanding of reality's underlying structure. "Captain," Sarah reported from the science station, "the phenomenon is moving systematically through our outer colonies. It's not random destruction, it's feeding." Through his enhanced perception, Marcus could see the Devourer clearly now. It wasn't a ship or creature in any conventional sense, but a vast consciousness made of antimatter and negative energy, existing in the spaces between dimensions. It consumed not just matter and energy, but information itself, the quantum patterns that defined existence. "All vessels, maintain minimum safe distance," Marcus broadcast. "Do not engage directly. We need to understand what we're fighting." The human fleet assembled over 200 ships, from patrol boats to massive dreadnoughts. Admiral Voss commanded from the flagship Sovereign's Pride. But everyone knew the real decisions were coming from Marcus and his impossible new abilities. "It's beautiful," whispered Dr. Patricia Huang, the xenobiologist who'd been studying Marcus's transformation, "and absolutely terrifying." The Devourer manifested as a shifting void, surrounded by cascading rings of bent spacetime. Where it passed, stars dimmed and planets cracked. It moved with purpose, following the trail of Veil Weaver energy that Marcus now carried. "It knows I'm here," Marcus said, his voice carrying harmonics that made the bridge crew's instruments fluctuate. "This is what destroyed Silaray's people. It's drawn to their power like a moth to flame." Commander Nash's voice crackled over the comm. "Marcus, whatever you're planning, do it fast. The thing just consumed the entire Betelgeuse mining convoy." Marcus closed his eyes, reaching out with senses that transcended physical space. He could feel the Devourer's hunger, its alien intelligence, its absolute certainty that it would feed on the cosmic energy within him. But he could also sense something else: the reason Silaray had chosen to pass her power to a human, rather than let it die with her. "Humanity's greatest strength," he murmured, remembering her words, "is not your technology or your weapons. It's your ability to choose sacrifice over survival when it matters." The Devourer was approaching the fleet's position, reality warping around its presence like water around a stone. The human solution. Marcus Reed stood alone on his ship's observation deck, watching the Devourer approach. The entity had grown massive, larger than Earth's moon, its hungry void, surrounded by the twisted remains of consumed worlds. Through his Veil Weaver senses, he could feel its ancient satisfaction. It had found its prey. "All ships, begin evacuation protocols," Marcus broadcast to the human fleet. "Fall back to minimum safe distance." "Like hell," Commander Nash's voice cut through the calm static. "We didn't come this far to watch you die alone." Marcus smiled despite the cosmic horror bearing down on them. Even facing annihilation, humans chose to stand together. That stubborn loyalty was exactly what Silaray had seen in his simple act of sharing water. The Devourer's psychic voice resonated through space. Veil Weaver essence detected. "Prepare for consumption." "Here's the thing about humans," Marcus replied, his voice carrying across impossible distances through Veil Weaver power. "We don't prepare for consumption, we prepare for war." What happened next would be remembered as the moment humanity truly announced itself to the cosmic community. Marcus didn't fight the Devourer directly. Instead, he did something that no Veil Weaver had ever attempted. He shared his power, using the quantum entanglement that connected all human technology. Marcus pushed his consciousness through the fleet's communication networks. Every ship, every person, every AI system became a node in a vast network. He gave them each a fragment of what Silaray had given him, not enough to overwhelm them, but enough to see. Suddenly, 200 human vessels began moving with impossible coordination. They could perceive the Devourer's true nature. See the weak points in its reality warping field. Understand the mathematical principles governing its existence. My God, Admiral Voss whispered as cosmic awareness flooded through him. We can see everything. The battle that followed wasn't fought with conventional weapons. The human fleet became a living entity, each ship a SAPS in a massive neural network. They attacked the Devourer not with energy weapons, but with coordinated reality manipulation, using the Veil Weaver knowledge to create paradoxes and contradictions in the entity's existence. Dr. Wang's science vessel projected mathematical impossibilities. Commander Nash's dreadnought fired concentrated beams of ordered spacetime. Mining ships became cosmic tuning forks, creating harmonics that disrupted the Devourer's quantum coherence. But the truly devastating attack came from something uniquely human. As the Devourer tried to consume the network Marcus had created, it encountered something it had never faced before: the collective will of a species that had learned to dream together. Every human consciousness in the fleet began projecting the same thought. You cannot have what we freely share. The Devourer, designed to consume individual power, couldn't process distributed consciousness. It was like trying to eat a song or devour democracy itself. The entity recoiled, its void form flickering with confusion. In that moment of vulnerability, Marcus made his final choice. Instead of destroying the Devourer, he offered it something else, the same gift Silare had given him, but transformed by human understanding. Join us, he projected. Stop consuming and start creating. The cosmic horror paused, its alien intelligence struggling to comprehend the concept. For eons, it had known only hunger. Now it was being offered purpose, slowly, impossibly. The Devourer began to change. Its void form brightened, filled with the same silver light that had once blazed in Silare's runes. The entity that had destroyed countless civilizations became something new, not a consumer of realities, but a guardian of them. Years later, as humanity spread across the galaxy under the protection of their unlikely ally, Marcus would think back to that moment on Zirian Prime. One bottle of water, freely given, had saved not just an alien woman's life, but the lives of countless billions yet to be born. The universe, it turned out, had been waiting for a species crazy enough to try rehabilitating cosmic horror through the power of friendship. Leave it to humans to turn the galaxy's greatest threat into its most devoted protector, simply by refusing to give up hope.